Hey guys, how you doing? Ron Raymond here from the Raymond Report. It is Monday. It is June 12th. Hope you're having yourself a good start to your Cash Out Monday. As always, don't forget, subscribe to our channel by tapping that notification bell in the top right-hand corner, or hit the subscribe button below this video if you're using a mobile device. Today's podcast is brought to you by bullpenpicks.com. Sign up today, and I'll be making my selections right here after the show at bullpenpicks.com. And if you want to follow my picks and the top scorers, you can, and I'll show you that in just 1 second. Also, don't forget, check out our Ron Raymond Sports Betting Podcast every Tuesdays and Thursdays right up until football season, where we'll include a Monday edition. And you can follow our YouTube channel to see the Ron Raymond Sports Betting Podcast each Tuesdays and Thursdays right here on our YouTube channel. All right, let's get into the Major League Baseball games for today. We only got 8 games here today, but before we get to the picks and breaking down each of the game and we'll handicap them, let's look at the SBI, the Sports Betting Index, and let's see what the markets are telling us. And right now, the baseball betting markets are telling us that the weekend was pretty much neutral. It was a fair market weekend. In fact, on Saturday, 8-7 for the underdogs after a big long run of favorites winning 6 of the last 7 days in Major League Baseball. Looking at the over-unders, pretty much the unders had a pretty good week. In fact, 55.4% of the baseball games last 7 days have gone under the total. And if you're playing the run line, 60% the last 3 days, and pretty much a neutral market. The last 7 days have the 51.9% of the run line favorites have cashed in. But you know what? It's been like I said, it's been a lot of favorites here the last 7 days, because over the last 7 days, 67.7% of Major League Baseball favorites has cashed a ticket, and we will see what happens here today for June 12th. All right, that's your SBI Sports Betting Index. And again, that's like my Dow Jones Industrial. You got to know what's going on in the markets, and you got to see if we're in a favorite or underdog or a fair neutral market. So this way, when you're, it's like the stock market, right? What goes up must come down, and we have to keep an eye on that. All right, let's take a look here. And if you're a veteran of the channel, and you're probably thank God he finally put the pitchers underneath. Yeah, we put our pitchers and the throwing arms of the pitcher right below the team, so this way you don't have to go back and forth, and hopefully it's a little bit easier for you guys when you print out the sheet. All right, the Atlanta Braves taking on the Detroit Tigers. Now, Charlie Morton going up against Tyler Alexander. Now, the line, there's no line. This recording here at 9:51 a.m., but I'm going to give you my line, and we'll adjust it once the line comes out. I got 170, and I got 8.5 as a total. The chance of winning with Charlie Morton and the Atlanta Braves at 58.3%. 58.23%, and we got a 5.3 to 3.97 score. And you can see that the Atlanta Braves, believe it or not, they're better on the road than they are at home. They are 20-10 on the road this season. Detroit, yeah, they're struggling. They're in a bearish market. In fact, they're only 3-11 their last 14 games, and 13-13 at home. And against those A-type teams with a 60 or higher win percentage, they are 5-14, so they are struggling against the alpha dogs in Major League Baseball. I had minus 192 as my line, so we'll see if I'm right up there with the bookmakers line. I think around 170, but you know what? Minus 192 might be the line that comes out early later on here in the day. All right, let's go to the next game. You got Colorado taking on Boston. James Paxton, the lefty, going up against Connor Siebold for Colorado. I got a 76.5% chance to win here for the Red Sox, who came from behind last night on the ESPN Sunday Night Game of the Week against the New York Yankees. And I got 5.3 to 4.08 favoring the Boston Red Sox. Now, Boston 5-9 their last 14 games, and their strength of schedule is 55%. So meaning the last 3 teams in the last 3 series they've faced, their opponents had a winning percentage of 55%. Compared to 47% for the Colorado Avalanche. Hey, I'm in hockey mode, you can tell, eh? Colorado Rockies. And the power rating, I got 50 power rating for the Boston Red Sox. I only got a 40 for the Colorado, not Rockies, but yeah, Rockies. Okay, got a Stanley Cup in my mind right now. But you can see Colorado, Jekyll and Hyde type team, right? 15-17 at home, not a great record, but 11-21 on the road. And against B-type teams, 10-17, and for the Boston Red Sox against those teams below 500, 14-9 on the season. I had minus 138 here for the Boston Red Sox. You can see minus 270, so we're going to lean with Boston in this one. San Francisco taking on St. Louis. Logan Webb against Matthew Liberatore, the lefty. And looking at the percentage play, does favor San Francisco, though it's not above 50%. I got 49.07. Logan Webb, 4-6 on the year, 3.09 ERA after that slow start. And we do like San Fran winning this one, 4.1 to 3.8, the over-under, landing here at approximately about 7.9, so close to the 8, so it might go under the total. And looking at the power rating, 48 for San Fran, 42 for St. Louis, and the strength of schedule pretty much even, 49% for the Giants, 48% for the Cardinals. St. Louis 12-16 at home this year. For San Francisco, 15-15 on the road, so they're hitting 500. And against those C-type teams, they are 14-7, so might be leaning towards San Francisco in this one. St. Louis struggling this year, 4-10 the last 14 games. The Halos taking on the Texas Rangers, and Dane Dunning going to go here for the Rangers. He's 5-1 on the season with a 2.52 ERA, while Tyler Anderson looks like he will get the nod here for the Halos. He's 3-1 at 5.62 ERA. I got Texas here winning the final score, 5.1 to 4.5, and looking at their last 14, 9-5, and their strength of schedule pretty good, 54%, power rating of 53, but I got the Halos on a 51 power rating and a 48% strength of schedule last 3 series. So, you know what? Really gave this a lot of thought here, but Texas at home, how can you not go against them? 21-9, it's tough to go against them. 21-9, while the Halos, 18-13 at home, but 16-17 on the road. You can see that right there. And against those A-type teams, 3-12. So I was giving a lot of consideration to Tyler Anderson and the Halos. Maybe if Shohei was pitching, or I don't know, maybe Griffin Canning, or I don't know. I can't take the Angels in Texas with that great road record. It's like going against Tampa Bay at home, right? Those A-type teams, really tough. But if you do like the Halos, maybe the run line, but I got to give it some more thought here. Bullish 3 days. That's the good news for the Los Angeles Angels. They're bullish 3 days, meaning they're either 5-2, 6-1, 7-0 in their last 7 games. In fact, their last 14 games, they are 8-6, while Texas is 9-5. So pretty good. Like I said, you can make a case for both teams, but it's tough to go against those A-type teams at home. Cincinnati taking on the Kansas City Royals. Now Zach Greinke going up against Luke Weaver. Both these pitchers not having a really good season. In fact, Greinke 1-6, 4.59 ERA, where Luke Weaver is 1-2, 6.27 ERA. I got a 60.9% chance of winning here for Kansas City. And like the old saying goes, misery loves company. They're going to meet today at Kauffman Stadium. But one team is bearish, and that is Kansas City, while Cincinnati is bullish. And Cincinnati against those C-type teams, they got a winning record, 18-13. Well, Kansas City is 14-16, but Kansas City, their real problem is against the A's and the B's of the Major League Baseball, teams with a 50 or higher win percentage. In fact, when they're facing opponents with a 60 or higher win percentage, they're 1-13 on the year and 3-15 against those B-type teams. I'm going to lean here with Cincinnati. All right, here's the game of the night. I think this will be the game of the night between the Miami Marlins against the Seattle Mariners. Now, looking at the numbers for Bryce Miller, 3-3 with a 4.46 ERA, where Jesus Luzardo, 5-4 on the season, 3.79 ERA. I do have Seattle winning here, 54.2% chance of winning compared to 41.3. But you know what? I kind of like the value on the Miami Marlins. In fact, they're 11-3 in their last 14 games. The only bad news is they're on the road, and where they're only 14-15 on the road, where they're 21-13 at home. And for Seattle, 17-15 at home, 13-16 on the road. They're bearish though. They're 5-9 in their last 14 games. Power rating, all Miami, 62% power rating, or 62 points, and a strength of schedule of 37. So they're beating the beatables, and those are the C-type teams where they're 19-11 on the year against those C-type teams. But they've been bullish 10 days. I think the way to go here is Miami, but maybe you take the run line. You got go get that Geico insurance, right? Philadelphia taking on Arizona. Now Philly, you know what? Looking at their pitching lineup, they're getting decimated here. And for Arizona, they're pretty healthy. When I was looking at their pitching rotation, they're pretty healthy. And when you look at the top teams in the bigs, like Atlanta now, starting to see a lot of injuries in the starting rotation. We'll keep an eye on that. But Arizona looking pretty healthy. Knock on wood for the D-backs. And they got Tommy Henry going here today, the lefty, who's 3-1 with a 4.37 ERA against the bullpen guy, Matt Strom, the lefty. So that's what I mean, right? You're starting to get guys from the bullpen getting into that rotation. That's what you got to do, right? When the pitcher's going to DL, you got to bring in the bullpen, or you bring up the call-ups. 4.9 for Arizona, 5.17. Even though here's the thing that's interesting. If you look at right here, the percentage play, the chances of winning the game straight up, 50.8 for Arizona, 45.8, which is good. If you follow the Raymond report, anything you got 40% or higher on the underdog, that's really good. But I got a 5.1 to 4.9 favoring Philly here, and why not? They are 8-6 in their last 14 compared to 11-3 for the Arizona Diamondbacks. But Arizona, man, one of my under-the-radar teams right from the beginning of the year. I always loved this pitching staff right from the get-go. If you follow the Raymond report, you know that I've always been on them. But 20-14 at home, where this is where Philadelphia is. This is where you got to take out the Pepto-Bismol, because 13-22 on the road, and against those A-type teams, they're only 3-8. So might be another situation like Miami, where if you do like Philly, you take them on the run line. But the A-type teams, the good Major League Baseball teams, they find a way to win. Just like the other night, I don't know if you saw that game where Baltimore, they were down 3-0 in the game, and now look at the final score was 6-3 Baltimore. Those good B and A type teams, they find a way to win, right? And some teams find a way to lose. They can't hold the lead, but you always like to support those teams that find a way to win. And I think Arizona is one of those teams that always finds a way to win. Don't like the DMVI, the Daily Market Value Index, at plus 117. So the line, there's something with the line that's telling me you got to be careful here. I think even though the perception versus reality card that I always use tells me Arizona's the play, but I think Philadelphia plus 1.5 might be the play. And the game on the West Coast tonight, James Caprillion for Oakland taking on Zach Eflin and the Tampa Bay Rays. Now Eflin 8-1 on the year, 2.97 ERA. Now minus 260 the line. If this game was in Tampa Bay, this line would be close to 400 probably. Hey, it'd probably be around 350, 370. 64.2% chance winning here for the Rays compared to 28.7. Having said that, you got to give Oakland a little bit of credit here. They are now, let me see, 7-7 on the year, and you're playing 7-7. We're going to give credit to a team who's 7-7. Yeah, considering the seasons they're type of having, when they've only got 14 wins all season, they've got more wins in the last 14 games than they do all season. So take it with a grain of salt. And their strength of schedule is their power rating is at 55, and the strength of schedule is at 55. So they're winning their games against really tough opponents, and they're more competitive, right? Maybe that's the word I got to use. They've been more competitive. The bad news is Tampa Bay is coming to town. Hey, not a good sign. And they are 3-17 against those A-type teams. Give me Tampa Bay. All right, let's get to that bullpenpicks.com. Follow the top scorers, and you can see right now my good friend Scott Christensen on time 34, 736 points. Hawkeyes, Kevin Driver 721, and there's Scooter Scott Ross making the first time I see a Scott Ross here. Scooter, good job, Scooter 491. And let's make my selections today for Monday. It's still Monday, Ronnie. Phils, see, you have a weekend and you're all messed up in your weekdays. Monday, June 12th. It's a cash out Monday. All right, I'm going to go with Atlanta, 60%. I'm going to go Boston. I'm going to take Boston here, 50. I hope there's no letdown factor after the Yankees here. You play your rivalry Yankees, there could be a little bit of a letdown, so maybe you be careful there. I like Logan Webb here against Liberatore. I'm going to go Texas, not 54%. Take it easy. Like I said, I'm going to give a little respect to the Halos. They've been playing pretty good baseball. 8-6 the last 14. Cincinnati against Kansas City. I'm going to go Luke Weaver here. Not much. I tell you, there's some really coin flip games here today. I like Arizona, 57%. I'm going to go Rays. I'm going to go 74%. And you know what? I'm going to go, man, something's telling me that Seattle's the play. You ever get that feeling like you really... You like one team, but something's pulling you back saying that's not the right team. But hey, that's why you do these shows. I'm going to go 53% Miami. I got to go with the hotter team. Miami, when you look at their record the last 14, 11-3. But it's like the stock market, right? What goes up must come down. And you know what? Maybe it's a no play for me. Maybe I just put it in my bullpen picks and for entertainment purposes only. Let's take a look at some of the stats and trends here today. You can see the Texas Rangers, 10-1 as a home team when the total is between 9 and 10 this season. The under 10-2 for the Tigers, the home team, coming off a loss against a National West Division opponent the last 6 years. Tampa Bay 9-2 is away team, coming off 3 overs the last 2 years. And look at this, Texas as a home team, coming off a left-handed pitcher, a southpaw this season. They're 80% in their next game. So those are your stats and trends courtesy of the Raymond Report right here at atsstats.com. In fact, folks, go to the website, go on top if you want to see the Raymond Report Lite, the free matchup reports. Go to matchups and you get the free version of the Raymond Report, and it's all the bells and whistles that you need to do your handicapping, and you can get it each and every day right here at atsstats.com. Have yourself a great rest of your Cash Out Monday. I'll be back on a Ruby Tuesday on the live stream at 10 a.m. Eastern. You can follow us every Tuesday and Thursday right here on the YouTube channel, the Ron Raymond Sports Betting Podcast at 10 a.m. Eastern, and I look forward to having you along with the ride tomorrow on the Ron Raymond Sports Betting Podcast. Cheers.